All right, today we're diving into something that sounds simple, but is actually a total game changer for anyone who needs to get a group's attention. We're talking about the power of a common signal.
So just imagine this scene. You know the feeling, right? The clock on the wall is ticking down. You've got maybe 3 minutes left. The room is buzzing, people are in their little groups, the energy's high, but you have one last super important thing you need to tell everyone. So how do you do it? How do you get every single person to look at you right now?
What's your go-to move? Is it the loud clap, the classic light switch flick, or maybe you just try to raise your voice and kind of talk over the chaos? Yeah, we've all been there, and we've all seen that frantic scramble to pull everyone's focus back to one spot.
And that's what this is really all about. It isn't just about making noise so people can hear you, it's about winning what our source material calls the attention battle. And let's be honest, in the world we live in today, that fight for focus is harder than it has ever been. So just how tough is that battle? Well, get this. Research shows that the human mind wanders anywhere from 10 to a whopping 60% of the time. Think about that. For a huge chunk of any meeting, any class, any presentation, people are just mentally checked out. That's what we're up against.
So what's the secret weapon here? It's something called a common attention signal. And really all it is a consistent, agreed-upon cue, something you hear, something you see, or maybe both, that lets everyone in the room know, okay, hey, time to tune in.
And look, this isn't just some clever little classroom hack. It's backed by some serious research. Education experts like Marzano, and Pickering found that these signals give students a really clear, really reliable way to know, oh, okay, it's time to shift my focus. It just takes all the guesswork and all the chaos out of the equation.
And the ripple effects are huge. Other researchers, Wong and Wong, they point out that a good signal does so much more than just get attention. It actually helps build a more respectful environment, it makes the classroom run more efficiently, cuts way down on disruptions, and lets the instruction just flow. It's a total game changer for the rhythm of a room.
Okay, so we're all on board with why this is so important. But what about the how? How do you actually pick a signal that's going to work? Well, let's build the blueprint for the perfect one.
And we're not just guessing here. We're going to look at 4 fantastic key recommendations that come from the Classroom Checkup, which is a resource funded by the IES. So this is a really practical, proven framework.
All right, so the perfect signal has 4 ingredients. First, you want to hit 2 senses, right? Use a sound and a visual cue, like saying a simple phrase while raising your hand. Second, it's got to be age appropriate. You know, a cutesy little rhyme isn't going to fly with high schoolers. Third, and this is crucial, it needs a response. When students have to do something, like raise their own hand back or make eye contact, you get instant feedback that you've got them. And last, it's got to be portable. A signal that relies on the room's light switch, totally useless when you're on a field trip.
So picking out that perfect signal, that's one thing. But making it actually stick, that's the real trick, isn't it? How do you make it an automatic, predictable habit? This is where the master plan comes in. And this goes right back to that idea of flexibility. As Chris Perry points out in the source material, your signal has to fit the situation. If you're in a small group, a simple, quiet verbal cue is probably all you need. But if you're in a giant auditorium, yeah, you're going to need to pair that with a big, clear visual, like a raised hand, just to make sure everybody sees it.
So really, it all boils down to this simple 3-step process. First, you select the right signal for you and your group using that blueprint we just talked about. Second, you have to explicitly teach it. Don't just assume people will figure it out. Explain what it is and what you expect them to do in return. And third, you use it all the time.
And that last part, honestly, is the whole secret. The single most important piece of this entire strategy is consistency. Because if you only use your signal sometimes, it just becomes more noise. It loses all its power. For it to become that automatic, predictable tool, you have to be consistent. Every single time. You know, when you zoom out, this idea is so much bigger than just a classroom or a meeting. We're all fighting that attention battle every day in a world that is literally designed to distract us. So whether you're a teacher, a manager, a coach, a parent, it's worth asking yourself, what's your signal for cutting through all that noise?